On RT International, we reached out to UNICEF. They described the situation in Yemen as horrific.
The number of children that have been killed because of the conflict is above 1,000 children. Right now, the main problem of the country is the collapse of the health system, and many more children will die from the collapse of the health system and the economic crisis than from the conflict itself. Right now, what we need is really the support from the international community to make sure the health system is not collapsed. If we don't have a health system that is functioning, we will not be able to provide humanitarian services to children. So it's very important that we maintain the health system alive.
Human rights groups accuse the coalition of war crimes, saying they bombed civilian facilities like schools and hospitals. But despite this, Saudi Arabia enjoys the continued support of the UK and America, who supply the Arab monarchy with weapons. However, the UK government has long faced public criticism amid claims UK-made weapons are being used in the war on Yemen. And the outcry has apparently forced Britain's parliament to look into suspending its multi-billion-dollar arms sales to the kingdom. And amid the concerns, the Saudi foreign minister has paid what's being described as a lobbying visit to London to brief MPs. And although few details of the closed-door talks have been released, no contracts appear to have been stopped so far. And British Prime Minister Theresa May dubbed the arms exports to Saudi Arabia, quote, vital to British security.
What matters is the strength of our relationship with Saudi Arabia on issues like dealing with terrorism, on counter-terrorism issues. It is that relationship that has helped to keep people on the streets of Britain safe.
Well, Andrew Smith of the Campaign Against Arms Trade says war is a racket and civilians are merely collateral damage.
There's absolutely nowhere in Yemen that is a safe space for Yemenis people. Certainly, arms company profits are being put ahead of human rights, and it's not just in Saudi Arabia. The UK arms a number of oppressive regimes all around the world. The UK isn't arming or supporting the Houthi groups in Yemen. It is arming and supporting the Saudi regime, and we know from the UN that the Saudi-led bombardment has killed twice as many people as all other forces combined, and it has been an almost indiscriminate bombing. This has been a UK policy for decades. For decades now, Saudi Arabia has been by far the largest buyer of UK arms, and the results have been devastating for both people in Saudi Arabia and for people in Yemen.
All right, thanks for joining us here on RT International. We're going to show you something special here. The Russian Defense Ministry is right now showing live footage streaming from the Syrian city of Aleppo. Ultimately, we're getting surveillance video now. These are live pictures in the districts of Al-Khalidiyah and Tel Jobayaka. That's being filmed now. This is actually by drone camera. There are also 2 cameras on the ground also transmitting live stream feeds. Now, these moves are designed to make the ceasefire easier to monitor. Of course, Aleppo has seen some of the fiercest fighting in the war in Syria. However, following joint Russian-US efforts, a temporary ceasefire has now come into effect. There's talk of actually extending the ceasefire another 48 hours. And what you're watching right here is only made possible by the Russian Ministry of Defense. There are 2 cameras on the ground, and this here is live drone footage of Aleppo. What you're seeing here is international monitoring of the ceasefire in Aleppo, Syria. Now, it's 1:15 here in Moscow. Hacker group Fancy Bears has leaked a second batch of documents from the World Anti-Doping Agency. That story amid the rest of the world headlines in just a moment.